Chapter 4. Opt out, suppress, and freeze. Take these 3 action steps now as part of your setup for success strategy. This is an important step advocated by both credit repair pros and mortgage pros. Opt out of junk mail. Stop the trash. You don't need all those offers to go into debt. Receiving junk mail is not a compliment to your creditworthiness. It's a test of your financial self-control. One of the saddest stories comes from a married couple who purchased a new home in Southern California. 1 week after closing, they received an offer in the mail to take out a second mortgage for $50,000. They were surprised and delighted. They could really use that money to fancy up the landscaping and install a gazebo. The wife thought it was some kind of miracle offer. Who would ever get an offer for another loan right after they purchased a house, she exclaimed. Surely this is a blessing from God. I believe in blessings, but no, this was not one of them. It is standard practice for lenders to monitor the local courthouse for daily mortgage closings. They mail offers to every new homeowner. Since it was California, the lender could legally slap a hefty prepayment penalty on the second mortgage, too. Tragically, they took out this high-interest loan, giving up their precious home equity. Not long after, they lost the house to a short sale type of foreclosure because they couldn't afford both payments and didn't have the equity to sell. No one needs invitations in the mail to take out credit. If you want a credit card or a loan, you can easily seek out good options. The credit bureaus make additional money by selling your private information to loan sharks, credit card companies, banks, insurance companies, and other financial predators who want you to go into debt with them. These creditors use a software program that reads through tens of thousands of reports in mere seconds. It pulls out the names and addresses of people who meet a certain criterion. They may have coded in a search for people with credit scores in the 650 to 699 range, looking for consumers who might accept a higher interest rate than the people with top-tier credit would accept. Another reason to opt out is to prevent credit card offers from sitting inside your mailbox that a criminal might break open and steal. The thieves apply for credit in your name and rack up several $1,000s worth of charges, leaving you as the unknowing victim. You don't find out about this account until you apply for credit and discover your good report has been decimated by a string of unpaid bills and collections. Below is the official consumer credit reporting industry website used by Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Innovis for opting out of being pre-screened for solicitations of credit or insurance. It is safe to put in your personal information to opt out. You can also help your elderly family members by getting them opted out, too. Choose the option Opt Out. In 5 years, you will need to repeat the process if you are doing it online. If you want to opt out permanently, send in a letter through the mail. There is also an option to opt in, so be careful that you don't click on that one by mistake. OptOutPrescreen.com, join the Do Not Call registry and suppress your phone number. I also recommend getting on the official Do Not Call registry. DoNotCall.gov, even though there are robots and international scammers who ignore the list, it truly does help cut down on solicitations. When you're taking control of your finances, you don't want your time wasted by fake scare tactics, like someone with a foreign accent saying, "I'm from Microsoft and your computer has a problem." It's easy to register right online. It takes 31 days to take full effect. After that, if a solicitor calls you, you have the right to demand payment for violating your rights and or sue them in small claims court. Freeze your credit reports. Don't overlook this important step. Place a freeze on your credit reports now, or if you are in the process of applying for a credit card to build positive credit, then do it immediately afterward. A freeze means no one can open, read, or obtain your credit report. It is frozen shut. When you want to apply for credit in the future, you will instruct the credit bureaus to unfreeze your report for a specific amount of time, such as 1 week or 1 month. If you are applying for a home loan, your credit reports need to be unfrozen and open to the mortgage lender from the initial application until the loan closes. For other types of credit, ask the salesperson what time period they need. Allow a couple of days for your request to unfreeze to go through, because it is rarely instant. Experian states that when you execute the request to lift the freeze, it happens in an hour. However, as a mortgage broker, I can tell you there are many instances where it took 2 days to go through. When a lender pulls a report that is frozen, it will come back totally blank, but the credit reporting agency still charges the same fee because they made the effort. It costs an additional fee to request it again after the freeze is lifted, so you don't want to forget. Freezing your credit protects you from online identity theft, unauthorized use of your credit, and unauthorized credit inquiries. It does not prevent you from obtaining your own credit report. Nor does it prevent your current creditors, a collection agency you owe money to, or a landlord from reviewing or ordering your report. If you have minor children, I also highly suggest freezing their credit so they do not become victims of fraud. The most common occurrence of a minor's credit being accessed, sadly, is by a family member or an ex-spouse who had access to the minor's name, date of birth, and social security number. This crime against children must be stopped. The best way to do that is by preventing it from happening with a credit freeze. If your child was a victim of credit fraud, such that someone took out a credit card in your child's name, your next step is to report it to the police and then send a copy of the police report with a letter of explanation to both the creditor and to the credit bureaus so that the account is shut down and removed from your child's file. If you have a loved one with dementia, speak with them or with their guardian about freezing their credit, because they probably are not opening any new accounts at this point in their life. Protect them from ID theft and greedy relatives who commit the crime of defrauding a vulnerable adult by using their credit or persuading them to share with them. Personally, I have had to sue 2 people who were taking advantage of my father who had Alzheimer's, so I am passionate about preventing this type of crime. If a vulnerable adult grants permission to someone to use their credit or spend their money, it is still illegal to take advantage. Vulnerable adult is a legally protected class. Don't hesitate to file a lawsuit if that's what it takes to stop financial abuse of the elderly. There are attorneys who specialize in this specific area of law, and God bless them for defending the weak. You request a freeze with each credit bureau individually. It's easy to do online, but if you prefer, you can send a freeze request by mail or by telephone. The following are website addresses: Experian.com, Equifax.com, TransUnion.com, Innovis.com, Consumer.risk.LexisNexis.com, SageStreamLLC.com, Consumers.ClarityServices.com. After executing your credit freezes, wait 2 weeks before sending any dispute letters or challenge letters of any type. Remember, you are in the essential setup stage, so waiting is part of the process and patience is the name of the game. Waiting periods are an essential part of a good strategy. This is true in war, in sports, and in credit repair. Coming up next, to give yourself the best chance of success, you need to clean up your personal identifiers before getting into challenges or disputes.